The Department of Justice has indicted former President Trump on dozens of counts of mishandling classified documents. That has renewed protests from GOP lawmakers and allies of the former president, accusing the Department of Justice and Biden administration of so-called weaponizing federal agencies.
The Biden administration continues to egregiously weaponize the federal government against Joe Biden's top political opponent.
The DOJ is part of the executive branch and is headed by a presidential appointee, currently Merrick Garland. But the relationship between the president and the Department of Justice is complicated. Does the president actually have the power to dictate DOJ investigations?
That's actually a controversial question, and there's disagreement about it. If you asked me, I would say that it's improper. But there are some people who have the view, and it's not a far-fetched view, that the president is the chief executive and all power derives from the president.
President Biden has largely refused to comment on the proceedings and repeatedly distances himself from the department.
I have never once, not one single time, suggested to the Justice Department what they should do or not do relative to bringing a charge or not bringing a charge.
When introducing his nomination for Attorney General, the highest office in the DOJ, Biden tried to emphasize the boundary.
I want to be clear to those who lead this department who you will serve. You won't work for me. You are not the president or the vice president's lawyer.
There are no laws establishing a formal boundary between the president and the Department of Justice. But the DOJ has internal policies, and some experts emphasize its culture of, quote, independence.
During the Nixon administration, it appeared that President Nixon was misusing the FBI and the Justice Department. And after that, the Justice Department adopted policies that have been continued pretty much since then. And they're internal policies, so they're not laws adopted by Congress.
This culture of independence became a flashpoint during the Trump administration. Former President Trump openly commented on ongoing investigations or called for DOJ to take action. For example, after his friend Roger Stone was convicted of obstructing a congressional investigation, DOJ prosecutors recommended a sentence of 7 to 9 years in prison. Hours after Trump tweeted the case was, quote, horrible and unfair, the department intervened for a lesser sentence. The original prosecutors quit in protest.
On Roger Stone,
Yeah.
Isn't your tweet political interference?
No, not at all. He was treated very badly.
In a New York Times interview early in his presidency, President Trump was asked if he would order the DOJ to reopen the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. He responded, quote, I have absolute right to do what I want to do with the Justice Department. Despite being part of the executive branch, the Department of Justice is generally viewed as an independent investigative body. But that independence is not written in the Constitution, nor determined by the Supreme Court. And that ambiguity leaves much room for misunderstanding and debate. And as the House Judiciary Committee looks to increase its scrutiny over the DOJ and federal law enforcement, the department may find itself in the political crosshairs for many months to come.